Hello again, Hot Wheels fans. So we have the Aston Martin V12 Speedster. I believe this is a new casting in 2021, one of the last ones of the year, 243 of 250. And let's take a look-see. I'm looking at the Aston Martin website. In the real world, they're only making 88 of these things and starting delivery this year, supposedly. The thing is supposed to have a V12 twin turbocharged engine. Hold on, let me get a focus here. Focus on the model, come on. Oh, the wheels are kind of close. It's a peak output of 700 horsepower, 750 plus newton meters of torque. The engine is mid-mounted in the front. That's why the seats are so far back. And then the 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And limited top speed of 186 miles per hour. And it's driving the rear wheels, so it's not all-wheel drive. Okay. Before I forget, I want to measure this thing out. The wheelbase is 2705 millimeters according to the good old internet. So let's take that number and divide it by my hopefully relatively accurate way of measuring, although there's actual play. It looks like it's in the middle. So 40.8. Well, the calculator's saying it's around 163, 166 scale. So not, might look a little out of place next to your true miniatures. Alright, well, you can't win them all, and for the price, you can't complain. Now, why is it I have a couple airplanes out here? These are F-18 fighter jets, and the reason why is on the Aston Martin website, it's saying that these were the inspiration for this vehicle. This is one of the earlier F-18s, and this is a single-seater. There are, twin cockpit ones as well. And this is a die-cast metal. I believe there's only two companies making these. It's either Herpa, H-E-R-P-A, or Hogan Wings, H-O-G-A-N. So you can swap out. Oh, actually, this must be a Herpa because you can replace the cockpit cover. You can have it down or up, and I don't think Hogan does that. So this is a Herpa, which is a German brand. I think Hogan might be a Chinese based or brand, but they don't have replaceable cockpit covers, so I'm pretty sure this is a Hogan Wings. This is the more modern Super Hornet, so it's a bigger airplane, as you can maybe tell there. So those are at the same distance away. Okay. So whether or not you see any similarities, some styling elements, I would have to actually, you know what, the cockpit from the top view, that looks like the cockpit on one of these Hornet fighter jets. So I do see that. I'm sure the character lines here, this door area, some of these sweeps might come from that airplane as well. I don't know where, but okay. Well, anyways, any chance I can show off some of my little die-cast airplanes, I will take it, because I am too lazy to go back and review them. Alrighty, well, compared to the photos of the car, let me get the good old pick out here and maybe a better light angle. I guess we'll start with the top view. So sadly, Hot Wheels, they're throwing these die-casts around after they come out of the mold, so I think that's possibly why there are gouges in the casting. And this edge is not very crisp either. Or maybe this is maybe the millionth piece that came out of the mold. It's nice that it actually has some mirrors, kind of blobby mirrors, but they're casted in. These little vent areas here, they seem to be, they got some black paint, but the casting itself has these little ridges, so I have seen those on the real photographs. It's got the Aston badge printed on there. No paint here, which is fine, because I'd much rather have some printed graphic headlights. You know, it looks like a headlight, right? Even though it's just a 2D graphic. So this ribbing here is part of the plastic base. Works well enough. These are actual vents on the real car, it looks like, so a little black paint might be helpful here. The wheels, yeah, they're a good choice by Hot Wheels here to put this style on there. The door handle is sticking out a little bit. Coming around to the back, got some exhaust poking out. The V12, it's not printed centered, but it's alright. And then there is an Aston badge printed in the back as well. But no text here, which is weird. You know, on the real photo I do see, I'm sure it says Aston Martin right there, or Speedster maybe. But, you know, if you're going to take the time to print these two, why wouldn't you just have the text there in the same process? This is obviously, well, it's supposed to have air passing through it, but they can't do that because this is a toy for 3-year-old kids. You know, it'd be too frail, I think, if there was actually air underneath there. So this interior piece, this back part, there's a break here, and it looks like it's smoked plastic. Nothing under it that I can tell, but then this part forward is the black plastic. So probably, I don't know, is it a separate piece of plastic, or is it, I'm sure it's separate from this piece. So you got a steering wheel. It's actually one of the better steering wheels from this brand. You know, it's not just a pizza pie plate. And then the seats have pretty good detail, I think, as well. Sorry if you can't really see much of it because it's black and so shiny, but it's actually a pretty nice interior. A little bit of a production problem there, scratched paint. Okay, that's something you just gotta get used to. It's very rare you're gonna get a Hot Wheels that's in perfect condition. The manufacturing of these, you know, toys itself, just, you know, they don't care. You know, they're being thrown around in bins. I will say though, these panel gaps are quite huge. That's a really big panel gap, and then it just terminates here, you know, instead of actually coming here. So that seems a little bit odd, but alright. And also the gap doesn't actually come across the whole top, which that I don't understand why they would do that, because there's going to be a mold that's going to pull off that way. I think they could have had that go all the way, but maybe they're thinking, oh, maybe extra casting metal would pool around there, and they're not willing to clean it up, so that's a possibility. Yeah, this is definitely a separate piece from the base. Okay. Well, let's see. Boy, these were tough to paint, but I think I replicated the OEM wheels pretty well. I just, you know, painted the wheels and the tires black, and then I took a silver Sharpie, and I messed up a lot, so I had to go back and add a lot of black, because then those two are silver, and back and forth, but eventually I did get these to be, you know, the way they look now. The real car has real black, you know, dark black calipers, but I just went with gray so you could actually see them. So that's what's going on there. And then just additional paint, a little black here in this vent, the vents there, and then that little section back here. Didn't attempt to do any taillights. Not gonna happen. Alright, so I guess that's it for this one. Let's compare it to a couple other Astons here. Let's see. If you look at this photo behind, you know, that's the inspirational car there, which is a DB1, I believe, a DBR1. So I have that one by Shelby American Collectibles, and you can see it's, well, that's a much smaller car. I do have this Kyosho DBR9, which I think raced around 05 to 2011. So those are my racing Astons in green. And I'm just going to throw up a more road-oriented car by Tarmac Works Global, the 2018 DBS Superleggera. Alright, so with the top view, give an idea of the growth and size of modern vehicles. And I guess that'll do. So I think all these other brands are pretty good models. They're worth having, if you're into Aston Martins, that is. Alright, well, I know some other people think this is an ugly car, but I rather like it. It's definitely unique, and it definitely looks like an Aston Martin. Not particularly practical looking, but I think it's a cool looking car, so I can dig it. Alright guys, well I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you the next time I mod another Hot Wheels. See ya.